I was just flipping through, and there's an article in that, an essay in that book called On a Piece of Chalk. And Thomas Huxley, to a group of carpenters in Norwich, England, in 1857, took a piece of chalk that had been extracted from the white cliffs of Dover, and he described the history of the North Atlantic Ocean, the geologic history, the biological history, based on the organisms that were contained in that piece of chalk. And he had me, a scientist, 100 years later, more than 100 years later, mesmerized. And I thought, well, this is Thomas Huxley. And so I continued in the book, and then I read in the introduction, he said, your fellow scientists may scorn you for speaking and communicating to the public, but you have an obligation to do so, to give back. They support you in the work that you do. You're a citizen at a point in time when people need to know what you know. The one thing you must do as a scientist is tell the truth. It's the most beautiful, important thing to communicate, the truth. Well, okay, so I did my best. I knocked myself out of my own complacency and wrote the article for the National Geographic and haven't looked back. And I have, like Carl Sagan, paid a price. People don't regard you as quite the same sense of seriousness that they do for those who choose to just stay with the scientific articles and the jargon of science. But at this point in history, knowing what we now know, I think we have to pull out all stops.